What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back once again into the back warehouse of Beyond the Summit, where we are up to no good again. Coming out with another podcast. Welcome to Movie Buffed. We're here to talk about movies, a little bit of gaming action. I have joining me here in the back studio my good buddy Dan.
Hello.
And we also have Ken lurking over here as a third wheel.
Hi.
What's up, guys? So we have already been in a podcast adventure once before. Myself and this handsome man here have Hot Cocks out. You can catch it over on our SoundCloud and our YouTube and such. But we're not going to just do one podcast, man. We're coming out with more. We're going to talk about movies, Dan.
Yeah.
Why are we here to talk about movies?
Movies are great.
Well, let's intro Dan first.
Yeah.
I feel like Dan needs to intro.
Well, it's like I want the people to hear why this guy likes movies a bit.
Why do you like
It's
movies,
why
Dan?
does this guy like movies so much?
So nobody knows who I am. My name is Dan. I'm the content director of content. I don't know which one at BTS. My past life, I was in film and animation. Jumped into esports after being in the music industry for a while. I started at TI3. That was my first big event. I made a video called Beyond the International that Beyond the Summit released.
Ooh.
After that, I've been working all over the industry with Kennedy SL before and with Beyond the Summit, as well as PGL. I did 3 player profiles. So with Ken, we did MSS, Eternal Envy, and RTZ. If you saw those at the Frankfurt Major, that was me. Esports Hall of Fame. Right. I've been all over. I've done a lot of work.
Dan makes a lot of just dank shit. He does a lot of the great content work that you see like every summit, a lot of the popular memes that are out there.
Yeah.
This guy is just
Obviously, the summit
genius.
is like where we get to have the most fun and do the most ridiculous stuff.
But you're a jack of all trades. You do a little bit of everything here. A visionary. You're good to get behind the keyboard and kind of get down to the nitty gritty. So it's awesome. You're able to kind of look at these films from that perspective. I, myself, a theater drama nerd, theatrics and dancing was my thing. So I'm here to watch the acting a bit more and just, I'm a big performer myself. So I love the cinema.
So you watch the movies?
I watch movies.
Because you want to be in movies?
I mean, the big thing was that when you get into like drama and theater and performing, your options are you go to New York if you want to do like theater, and you
Broadway.
go to LA. Yeah, theater or Broadway in New York, and you go to LA if you want to make it to Hollywood. I was in New York, but that doesn't mean I didn't do any, screen work, gentlemen. I happened to be in the very last episode of Ugly Betty.
Oh,
Look it
damn.
up. He's not lying.
I was boom mic guy, probably number 2.
What was your number 1 pick Broadway show to be on if you could be on anything?
For a long time, I really wanted to do Singing in the Rain because I was just brought up to be I was very similar like Gene Kelly, and I loved to make him laugh from Singing in the Rain. It was just a performance in itself. So I liked a lot of the early show tune movies for a while, and then as I took on drama and kind of made a character or just kind of came out of my shell, I liked comedies, and so I like a lot of the comedies and adventure.
I mean, your physical humor. It makes sense that you like Singing in the Rain. Like your body, when you work on our videos, is like half of the funniest part. Is just watching what. Yo, that body though.
Thanks, man.
That body.
I'm glad you're so close to me over here.
No, I'm super excited about this. One thing that I missed about when I moved to LA was nerding out about this kind of stuff, like I did with my friends back home, because I'm from Chicago. But Ken and me have done a lot of nerding out. Me and you've been able to do a lot of nerding out about movies. Like I hate going to a movie and then you want to talk about it after. And
I always go to the Reddit thread.
Yeah.
I always get on the Reddit thread.
I always jump in. If I don't have somebody at the movie with me who wants to talk about it, because I want to sit in the theater, watch all the credits. Because I think credits are really interesting.
I don't watch the credits.
I love watching the credits. I love seeing who's doing what their jobs are, the fucking massive wall of text of VFX.
What's the last movie you've been to?
Oh God, why do you have to say that? The last movie I went to was Dunkirk.
Dunkirk.
I saw a 70mm.
Spoiler
IMAX
alert! They
Dunkirk.
get out of the.
Hold on.
Damn.
They evacuate the.
Welcome to Movie
Ken
Buff. We spoil
Chen.
everything. No rules.
It's a historical event. It's like spoiler alert: we win World War II.
Yeah, but it's a historical
Whoa.
drama. Jeez. What are you gonna tell him about Churchill next? Give me a
That he
break.
dies?
Ken. No, yeah, I saw Dunkirk 70mm. There's an IMAX by us. It was amazing. It was insane. It's hilarious how that movie is shot almost completely on IMAX. When before if you remember when Batman Begins came out and there was like 2 IMAX scenes and it was like a really, really big deal.
Yeah.
That's because nobody would use it. There's only a couple IMAX cameras and they're humongous, and they're incredibly loud. So you can't do any voice work because the camera's too loud. That's why it's usually big action scenes. It's just like,
How do you know all this?
oh man.
Doesn't that thing like overheat too? You use it
Yeah.
too much, they just gotta like put it away.
Yeah, but Nolan has a gigantic boner for it.
Uh-huh.
So he basically was like, hey, I'm going to make every one of my movies now with IMAX, so figure out how I can do all this crazy shit. I want to put it onto a plane and crash in the ocean. You know, I want to fucking slam it on the side of a building. I want to do it in the middle of a sinking ship. He gets to do whatever he wants because he's Nolan, and I don't know. I don't
Now
want
we
to get
can
too much
dream big.
into... maybe we have to do a Dunkirk episode. No.
We're going to be looking at a little bit of everything. That's the thing, is that we are going to be all over the place. At first, when we were conceptualizing Movie Buffed as a podcast, we're like, we could just do video game movies. And there's a lot of great ones out there.
There's a lot of terrible ones.
As Ken helped us look at when we were trying to build the list for this, there's a lot of terrible video game movies out there, too. Some of them we will
We're
watch,
still going to do some of the terrible ones.
But
there's
some
so
are
many
just
fun ones.
Bad, too.
I'm not going to watch Max Payne.
Max
Not
Payne,
going to. Is that the one with Mila Kunis?
Tomb Raider, you know, we may like
Is
put
Mila
those on
Kunis
the
in that
shelf
one?
for
I
now.
like Tomb Raider. I don't know about you
but
guys.
you know, we
How
got
many- which
quality
one?
ones.
The first one is really good. I think the second one with the silver suit, where she's in the silver suit, that's
What was
pretty
the full
iconic.
name of that Tomb Raider?
Tomb Raider, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's correct. That's actually accurate.
New
No.
new age kids would probably believe you for sure.
Rise of the, I don't know, 12-year-old
Rise
erection.
of the boobies, probably. I
Yeah.
mean, that's all
She
that
was
movie was really
amazing.
good for.
Dear
Can we
God.
be honest here, gentlemen? All right. If we're watching a movie, it's probably around that reason.
What are we getting into today?
So
What's our first
today,
episode?
What's our movie about?
First freaking movie. Our first episode is going to be free to play, the Dota 2 documentary.
okay.
Now, why
Great
are
choice.
we picking free to play as our first movie, Dan?
Oh my God! I think there's some obvious connections. We're pretty big in this game called Defense of the Ancients,
Dota.
Dota, which is what this movie's about. And for me, free to play is a game changer. Not just for kind of like esports, but for all the content surrounding esports. It changed a lot about how everybody approaches it and what we expect. The kind of like the bar was raised by it so much. I mean, you had
Yeah.
Ken's amazing documentary before this, Liquid Rising.
Yeah.
I didn't make that.
World
It
famous.
got
I
almost
didn't make
there.
it.
It
World
was getting
famous.
us there.
I mean, he directed, wrote,
Please.
edited it.
Liquid
I want to take
Rising.
all the credit.
Google it.
Google
Liquid
it.
Rising.
Google it. IMDb.
No, man,
yeah,
this
but
was
this was a big
huge.
deal when it came out. I mean, I don't know. How did you feel when this came out? What was your like kind of reaction to it?
I got to show this off to my mom. I got to show it to my family and my friends to let them know that esports is real.
Yeah.
This is a real deal. That's, you know, the frank about it. It's just,
I
I
sent
wanted to show
an
it
email.
off. It looked legit. It felt like what we were doing is legit. She's wondering, like, why are you leaving theater and acting and performing to do computer games? And it's like, for this is a show. This is a spectacle. And I want to be on that stage in front of those people.
Where'd you watch it?
Where'd I watch it?
Yeah.
At home, probably just my tiny little computer area. I wasn't as cool as you guys. Now, where did you guys get to watch free to play?
I watched it at TI3.
I watched it at TI3.
Giant-
The greatest TI that ever
in the,
happened, of
in
course,
the,
TI3.
in the auditorium with everyone else. After the day was over, they sat everyone there.
Hall.
You know,
Guys, come on. Can we talk about real quick? TI3, do you think it legitimately was the best TI ever now? And try not to be
yes.
jaded about it. Okay.
Yes.
The reason why,
TI6 was
you know why I
excellent,
think
though.
it would be the best one, this is the best one ever? It's for the attendees, right? We're talking about the attendees, not the people that watch, right? Because I feel like the viewing experience is obviously better at the more recent ones. There's more content.
Yeah,
there's
let's
more-
put that away. Yeah.
The actual experience, I think TI3 was just everyone's a part of something that's about to happen. That's amazing. That's
You could feel
you're-
it.
Yeah.
You could feel it.
You're the launching
And
pad right
the
there.
players are just walking around the venue. You know, like what between games, like Alliance will just be like chilling in the middle of the, like just where everyone else is. I don't think that happened in any other TI.
Yeah.
They're all segregated off because they're superstars now. But back and like Envy was just a fan. He's just walking around. You know.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. That's cool. The talent were just walking around.
Yeah.
Lots more people that were in the scene were just attending.
Yeah.
Like I think Singh was there
There's
just
only-
hanging out.
There was just like there were like 2,000 people there.
Yeah, it's so
and like
intimate.
probably like 500 of them were like working
Yeah.
or somewhat involved in the scene.
Somehow in the
so
industry.
it's a very
beyond
high, like
just-
the artists, you know, voice actors, all that stuff. So
That was cool. The voice actors being there was really fun.
yeah, a very high percentage of the people there were like people that you could meet and talk to. So
Yeah. I don't think we're ever going to be having another intimate experience like that at a
we
TI
might,
in the
you know,
future.
wait
What do you
until
think?
Dota dies. We'll get
Wait
to
until it
T-
dies, and
TI
they have, like,
12
a-
and the prize pool's back down to $1 million. Then we will see.
Yeah. I mean, I was really jealous when the Boston major was announced because of the venue. It looked so cool. I heard it wasn't necessarily as amazing of an experience overall for various reasons, but I'm into that. I'm into the small theater, the nice theater.
So TI3 we got to is when everybody, at least you cool kids there, got to first experience free to play.
We watched it, yeah.
It later came out about March 19th, 2014 to everybody to really enjoy, and
no one leaked
just a
it.
fantastic piece. Let's go ahead and check out the trailer actually for this so we can get it in the mood. 3 professional video game players as they overcome personal adversity, family pressures, and the realities of life to compete in a $1 million tournament that could change their lives forever.
1.6.
Everyone's searching for something. The ability to become someone else. The player might not understand it, but it's there.
10 years ago, competitive gaming wasn't even a thing.
Now you're trying to be the best in the world.
We're live here in Cologne, Germany for the main event. Who will get a shot at the $1 million? In
10 years, sports will be bigger than football.
The teamwork and the trust and sacrifices are true for every team sport.
It's the start of something big, like a revolution.
In 10 years' time, we will look back and say this was the beginning. This is where it all started. These are the guys that took the risk and they proved themselves.
I got kicked out of my house because of my gaming career.
I was your typical parent. You're spending too much time playing computer games. What if nothing comes of it?
If I don't win, I don't get paid.
It's critical that I am successful.
He's an A-star student, you know. Because of this gaming, we owe him right now.
Career in gaming is very risky. But the chance to be the best in the world at something, you don't get it much in life.
Something knock you down, you need to learn to get up. One way to forget about pain is to do something you will be in completely. So, computer games.
And now I have a chance to win this tournament for my family.
Let's go. So we hit the point now. The gloves come off. This clash of the Titans is something we will not want to miss.
This is the most important moment in my life.
It's gonna make my time playing this game all worth it.
It would kind of like vindicate us.
Wow.
Yeah, just fantastic. The international, of course, Dan, we got to watch this piece together the other day.
Yeah.
I went home later and I watched the Q&A hosted by none other than James Toogood.
Sir Toogood.
Sir Toogood. They had, Dendi, Fear there at attendance. They had Valve. They had the filmmakers. And I skimmed through it a bit, but when they asked Valve the question, why did you even make this movie? They just knew that they were doing a big event and they wanted to bring the film crew along to be able to kind of document the experience. But the filmmakers, talking to the players, learned so much more. They said we had these great stories and we want to work more around that. So, I mean, Dan, like when you're kind of, working with these players and you're doing these player profiles and stuff, like how many times have you been like in for a treat when a player just gives you that little bit of something extra and you're like, that's a story that we can go on that adventure together.
I know what you're
man.
gonna say.
That's what? You know what I'm going to say?
Yeah, you're gonna tell them a story about your boys meeting Envy.
Oh, my God. Okay. Well, I mean, there's something very special always about Envy. And so when we shot the Envy piece, it was like, I think Ken warned him first that you're in for a treat. This is going to be somebody you've never met like before. Because the guys that we brought on to the shoot with me and Ken are all guys from the music industry. They never
even talk to someone from esports.
No, they only know that I like playing games, and I was making videos for games, and that's it. That's all they knew. But I mean, meeting Envy and being at his house is just a very interesting, unique experience.
Here's what I said to them. I said, when you meet this guy, he's gonna say stuff that you're not gonna be sure if he's a genius or whether he's an idiot. Everything he says, you're just gonna be like, that could be either the smartest or dumbest thing I've ever heard. And they're like, I don't understand. And then they did after when we first day.
The first day, sitting down after the interview, Steve, who was the DP, Steve Connery, amazing guy from Scene Aesthetics, he was just like, I get it. This guy is crazy. And this is all crazy.
This guy's crazy.
I don't know about like super unique moments outside of that, but I think what Valve was amazing is the players gave them so much. Right now, these guys are just so swarmed with media all the time.
It can hurt their career if they say too much.
They say the wrong thing. Now, which reminds me of this, what you see in this is something we have not seen again, period, is smoking and drinking on film. It's just a gigantic no-no nowadays. I have shot entire things with teams where some of my favorite footage would be something where they're just relaxing, not like partying, they're not binge drinking, whatever, but there's a beer in the shot. And we can't show it anymore. And it gets cut because they just don't allow that.
The whole night sequence
Everybody
with
cares.
Arteezy.
They care a lot about how
I wasn't going to mention it, but that is exactly what it. There was an entire rooftop sequence from the Arteezy profile that there's a couple shots from it that made it.
They look real cool.
But it was awesome. There was a lot more happening. We were all hanging out.
We couldn't put it in the thing.
No, because they were drinking. And I mean, it was laid back, but that kind of stuff doesn't happen. And HY in this, you see him slanging drinks and just smoking cigarette, and they're like that
maybe
just
that's
doesn't
why
happen.
He's not around anymore.
Like they did it. Yeah, maybe the smoking. Is that where he went?
It's over.
I think that it's really difficult to get players to be honest. It's very difficult to talk to them outside of an interview. They want to know, this is when I'm going to be sitting down, this is what's going to be happening, and this is when we're talking. The off-camera, or excuse me, like the off-interview stuff they get in this movie is all some of the best stuff.
Yep.
When they're just talking, they're just like, there's a camera guy and a producer, and they're just talking. That's what really made this so special. But I mean, they filmed this, so like you said, so 2011, TI won. They shoot this thing, then they go, holy shit.
Yeah.
This was really cool. Let's keep going. They take another year. They film all over the world. They go to Oregon. They go to Singapore. They do all this shit. Then they take another year to build all sorts of filmmaker stuff, edit this whole thing, figure out the distribution, which was, obviously through their own platform and then through some other screenings. But
these guys never made a movie before, though.
Never. No, they shot. Okay, here's what's really crazy. So they shot all of this on DSLRs, and the movie looks amazing.
Yeah,
it's like I'm pretty sure it's all like 5Ds, which is just like kind of a standard camera. Very good at the time. It did 60 frames per second, which was a really big deal. It had very good low light, which is a very big deal. So it made sense for events. Like in the music industry at that time, people were all buying that camera. Yeah. For the first time, you could shoot slow-mo, 60 frames per second. Now we're shooting like 120, 240, whatever. And good low light. The next year, what's funny is, so at TI4, they upgraded all their equipment in between the release of this movie and then when they started pushing player profiles, and they switched to red camera. And so when I went to Valve, I visited at TI4. We went to the content area, and they literally had a room. They had just started building it because, like, okay, free-to-play is really successful. We're going to start building a film wing now just because whatever, we're Valve.
Content's great.
They had a room that was filled, I'm not kidding, from floor to ceiling in a corner with just red equipment boxes. I mean, probably $250,000, $300,000 worth of equipment, and they had just obviously unwrapped it and just thrown it into this room, and this is where like all because everything they had was red official. It was just insane to me. I remember walking by and just be like, okay, so that's what you guys are filming now. But like the year before, yeah, they're just guys filming. None of them. I mean, one of them's an animator. One of them's like they're just like guys at Valve who were just like grabbed cameras.
One guy Phil's an architect.
Yeah, and he's the main guy.
He's the man. Every time I see that guy, he's always got a smile.
He made the mall. He made the mall in Left 4 Dead.
Oh wait, I didn't know that.
He's an architect.
That's him.
Phil?
Yeah. Okay, first off, tell that. That's one of the coolest things. This is one of the coolest things about Valve.
Phil's an architect. He went to architecture school.
Okay.
I think. And instead of making buildings that are impermanent, he makes digital buildings which can't be destroyed. And if you ever played a level in Left 4 Dead, where they run around in a mall, that's his building.
Whoa!
So it must be cool to be an architect and be able to design any building you want with infinite resources because you don't have to abide by any zoning laws.
No,
that's awesome.
Whatever.
I love that story.
Or budget.
And it's cool to think that that's the guy that made this movie.
Oh man, he's so cool.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's sick.
I'm happy for Phil.
Yeah.
All right, so international, it drops. Everyone goes crazy because this is a $1 million event, 1.6 million prize pool. But they're like, we want the first place winner to get $1 million. That's the point we're looking to make when we drop this international. We have a brand new game.
Yep.
It was in beta. I remember I was giddy like a little girl because I was a huge Dota 1 fan. I was there for the birth, Dan. All right, I'm old. They called Fear old man in this. It's me. I was there at the beginning. I love this game.
Yeah.
So
How crazy is that? They call Fear old man. He's like 24.
yeah, well, we'll get into that, I'm sure, a bit. But, you know, I'm overplaying Heroes of New Earth, but I'm excited about Dota 2. I want to see what it's all about. There have been maybe 1 or 2 screenshots of it, but it wasn't until this tournament drops. I wait up to 2, 3 in the morning, Germany time, whatever, just so I can see what this game's all about. And it was crazy, man.
Did you know you were going to be in the scene, like, career-wise right then? When did you make the decision?
After TI3, I was like, I'd love to be a part of this. I want to take what I have and be able to put that into this.
You were doing mods in Han, though, right? You were doing stuff.
Yeah, I did a lot of little funny things. Back at Dota 1, I was in those in-house leagues, DXD and stuff. I wasn't the best as a player, but I would help, like, graphically. I made a lot of stuff for the forums and signatures and stuff and just kind of hung around. But, yeah, I don't know. That was my gaming
content
prime,
creator even back then. You knew.
Yeah,
you knew.
Little bits of
I've seen
little tickle of creativity I could put out there and put gaming together. I was all about.
If you can find the Dakota Cox YouTube channel, he's got some videos on there. I've seen him. He's got some great ones, and some of them are these old mods, and they're pretty funny. You had like, was there a Randy Savage? Or
yeah,
yeah,
that was for Heroes of New Earth. I like made a lot of sound mod stuff.
Sound mods.
Yeah, that was a fun time. But
yeah, reaction to
this $1 million drop of event. I mean, Ken, you were a part of, you know, StarCraft and Brood War for a little bit. You know, seeing those kind of events, they had maybe like $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. You know,
we thought it was like a publicity stunt that was not going to continue. We were just like, oh, they're just doing this to promote the game, and then the next year it'll be like, whatever, it won't even exist next year.
Which is true, by the way. That's all they were trying to do.
Yeah, but no one anticipated that it would keep growing and there'd be crowdfunding and all that stuff. That's pretty... No one expected that to happen. And you could see it in the reactions of some of the people in the movie. They did a really good job of capturing just the pure kind of disbelief of a lot of the people in the scene, and you get to see a lot of people like really young looking, and they're just like, I can't believe that it's $1 million, you know.
Ghost of Gamers forum screen caps, the Twitter thing,
no Reddit, no our Dota 2. There wasn't like a conjunction like it was now. There's a few people trickled on the TDA forums.
Join Dota.
Join Dota, you know.
What was the other one? Play Dota? What was the other one? There was another one.
Play Dota is the Ice Frog one. That's the official one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just
Play Dota, Join Dota, Ghost of Gamers, I think.
Such a strange thing. I mean, that whole time was crazy. Beta keys were so weird, hard to come by.
It was exciting to get a beta key in Dota.
It was crazy. If you knew a guy, or if you knew a guy, it was amazing. Otherwise, you had to do I know there like on some of your forums, there was a lot of hoops to jump through.
Yeah, they would be like, if you want to be part of the beta experience. Through the forums, you could do all this work. It's like review these Dota 1 replays and, you know, participate as on these forums, answering questions, helping out new players, and then we'll be able to maybe get you a beta key. I got one that way, but a lot of my friends didn't want to go through those same hoops, so
I got gifted one. I was pretty lucky. I got gifted one.
Yeah.
I knew a guy who played a lot. I actually have no idea how he got it, but he gave it to me because he wanted me to learn the game.
But we're bad at the game overall. I mean, we were really bad then. I mean, these pro players are given the game in beta, and they only have so many heroes, and they only have so much time to work with, and you know they're able to still start competing at a pretty high level. So.
But but the difference in that with Dota, and I think also what makes Dota so amazing in a lot of ways is the history. So like when you see a new esport launch nowadays, like it's very bizarre that Dota was in beta and they made a tournament about it, $1 million, and the players were so good. But that's because they've been playing the game for so long, and the competitive scene already had this lineage and these characters and these people to plug in.
Can we get some of those just come overnight? Production, can we get some of those photos of the?
I want to see some old school
young
pictures.
guys. I want to see some young pros.
Yeah, all the guys that are like mega juggernauts in the scene right now were big then, and they had.
Look at these juggernauts right here.
Obviously on the right,
far right, we got Melk, who looks like the most stereotypical nerd.
Pre-Dreadfort Melk.
And Loda.
And then we have the guy in the middle. I don't know who that is.
It's fake Yosin.
Who is that?
I don't know. I have no idea who that is.
Okay, so I don't know who that is. The guy on the left is Loda.
Look at that hair.
Yeah, a lot of hair.
No hat.
Just hair. Before the hat, this was
just a couple of kids who want to game, maybe make some money as well. Look at that man in the middle right there. Is
Ben Wu.
Mr. Ben Merlini
Is that NS
Wu.
or Dread? Or
Okay, so the guy in the far left is the same guy from the other photo.
So he's a player.
So
Okay,
he's a player,
we just
and
are not
Ben
that
would
old
know
school.
who he is.
Yeah.
Look
Fear
at
looks
Fear.
super young.
He's a baby. I don't know.
That is not an old man Fear right there.
What's
that's
funny
for
about
sure.
this is they have like nice jerseys on this. Like
These players
That
end up
is
being
Mania.
that's Mania.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Where is he now?
I don't know.
Maybe
You wanna look it up on his
You can
page?
look it up.
That's
and do
another
it.
fun part about this is just seeing where some of these guys are now.
We're going to be asking that question a
is
couple
a-
of times.
It's crazy. I mean, look at Malk. It was funny to see that tweet from Malk, like, this time next year, I'm going to be a Dota millionaire. And it's like, the guy is a G now, you know? He's doing it. His
not a
life is
millionaire, though.
esports. I'm not saying he's a millionaire.
He
I'm
probably
saying,
is. He sold an LCS team, right?
yeah, that's
Yeah,
probably helped.
yeah,
That
probably
probably helped.
millionaire.
But either way, that
got
guy
net worth.
every day is signing to some soccer team or some big new, I mean, he works at the North now. Amazing organization that just popped out of nowhere and is suddenly dominating the star. Or excuse me.
What was what was the soccer
CS:GO?
team they're associated with? Do we know?
I don't remember. Before it was
Schalke.
Wasn't that isn't that the ones that
That's the one he was before.
before? Yeah.
Yeah.
Shell?
But the North still plays at a football stadium.
You guys can keep.
I don't know.
talking,
Yeah,
I'll look
yeah,
it
yeah.
up.
Ken's got the laptop.
Melk,
He can go on
a
there.
strong presence in
Whatever.
the movie. A lot of strong characters who end up being the narrators.
But I think
for
that's what
this.
really makes Dota special is that you have all these people that
FC
have already
Copenhagen.
FC Copenhagen that have already dedicated so much of their life to playing, to traveling, and now so much of the hard part about esports is getting them up off the ground, is building those storylines. But dude, from like the first month I started playing Dota, I knew who Burning was, and I knew this like legend of him going around.
Who didn't go to TI1?
He didn't? Yes, he was.
Was he?
He
Didn't he
didn't
not go?
I don't think he played.
He didn't go to TI1.
Am I wrong? Okay, maybe you're right.
Am I wrong about
I guess
this?
who would he be on? He was
Wasn't
later.
on Tyloo.
No, he was not. Okay,
He
so he
wasn't on
later
eHome.
joined eHome, I think, after TI1.
Was he on the team that what was the Chinese team that didn't play because they thought it was a fake? I thought it was a fake tournament.
I don't remember hearing about that.
I heard
What?
there was a Chinese team that didn't play because they thought it was fake.
LGD?
Yeah, it might have been.
Maybe.
LGD makes sense because IG was there.
I mean, Burning was definitely a Dota 1 force. It's not like this guy was not in the scene yet. And maybe he wasn't there to play at TI1, but...
I mean, so many. I remember there was just so much going on that was like everything felt very important. When Loda went to China, that was like a crazy deal. That felt so important. Nowadays, everything is just like...
Everything just took off real quick. I mean, once gaming went online, things got competitive. It wasn't about playing against your neighbor. It was about playing against, you know, the kid on the other side of the country and being
They
the
talk
best
about
one
that
on
a
the
lot.
block. Yeah, so let's talk about the narrators a bit in this movie, guys.
Okay.
A couple of the faces here. As the movie opens, we get a strong voice as our narrator, none other than the lovable Tobiwan. We have a fresh, young, ripe.
Look
20
at that.
Look at this man.
Ooh.
Toby Dawson.
That is unbelievable.
He looks like
Toby.
it's like a sitcom movie. Like he looks like he's 14, heartthrob.
My lord.
Backstreet
Jesus
Boy.
and Christ.
Looks a little tired though.
Not
Maybe
as
a little.
I would say there he looks pretty good comparatively.
I mean, it was him. It was
Comparatively
all
to
him.
what?
I mean,
What are you trying to say?
Dude, when after this, when he was doing his stream and he would be casting for like 15 hours a day.
Can we do a side by side with him? No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to do it now.
No, you don't want to do that. But he
looks
I
good.
mean, his bags would be crazy because he just never stopped. He slept for like 4 hours and he would just cast. I remember I would go I was working two
Look at this
jobs
guy.
at the time, and one of them was at a concierge, and I would watch him cast for like 10 hours all day.
He's distracting me. Can we take him down?
He's too handsome.
there we go. All right.
He looks amazing. It's incredible how young he looks.
Would you still say Toby's the voice of Dota?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
He's like the most. He has the most recognized. Well, LD does too, but Toby was in the first one. I think that counts a lot.
When I first was trying to explain people what Dota was, I would put on a Toby game because his casting was so crazy, and you could tell them there's people casting the games, and like, what do you mean they're casting the games? And people, what do you? And yeah, they couldn't even tell. They wouldn't even understand it. But you put it on, they'd be like, holy shit, that's cool. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know what the hell
Sounds hype, though.
all the magic is, but
Yeah.
it sounds amazing.
I feel like he'd be
Sounds
great at
awesome.
casting anything. So
He would, and he is. I mean, he's done other stuff, and he's done. I mean, he's a guy who could have a career the next 50 years casting whatever he
Performer,
wanted.
man. Yeah, he loves it. He loves it.
Yeah, but it's special, and he says a lot of great things.
Yeah, he's very good. Very
the sound bites in this movie are
Toby your
incredible.
favorite narrator?
That's a hard question. I don't know if he's my favorite.
Which one's your favorite? We got Too Good. Too Good's in there.
Too Good does a lot of great work. I think
Cinderin. Cindarin's in there.
Cindarin's got an amazing line about fear. That is so like perfectly
what does he say about
posed.
fear?
He talks about how fear is not on the level of the Chinese guys in the most like politically correct but like fair and honest way. And he's just like, Fear is the best player in North America, but he doesn't even touch the guys in China. And it's nothing against him. They're just on another level. You know, something like along that's just like so well put. I don't know. He's a very thoughtful guy as well. But no, my favorite is Fuzzy Bunny. What?
Fuzzy Bunny.
Furry fish.
Whoa.
Oh God. Okay.
Tammy Tang.
You must be talking about
Tammy Furry Fish.
Tammy. Yeah, I'm talking about Tammy.
Tammy Tang.
Furry Fish.
The
Tang.
poet.
The poet. And there's a reason she's a poet. I would love for production to be able to bring this up. She does a wonderful way of being able to like to describe the players, why they play the game, what it's really all about. And,
I've stolen this.
We're furry
countless
fans.
times.
We're furry fans.
We're all furries here.
We're furry fans.
Let's check it out. Let's check it out.
Everyone's searching for something. Fulfillment, fame, satisfaction. It gives you the ability to become someone else. Someone who is powerful, who can take down 5 opponents, express their creativity, break the rules without actually getting arrested. All of these reasons are in there somewhere. The player himself might not even know. He might not even understand it himself. But it's there.
It is there, Tammy. It is.
Tammy!
Where is...
Do you think she was reading off of something?
That's
it's so amazingly eloquent for someone who, one, English probably not her first language.
Second language for sure.
Which, by the way, people who have English second language oftentimes have better grammar than Americans, right? I think that's the case.
more...
Because they learn the rules
by the book.
Yeah, they're learning it,
yeah.
so...
Yeah.
So she doesn't have, like, like, anything
Syntax
in
is
there.
I don't think she's reading from a card, but like when you know you're going to be going into a situation where you're going to be talking about Dota, you got to have some stuff ready to go.
But how many people will come up with that, man? That is like... That's crazy.
Searching
it
for
speaks
someone,
to like
something.
this like deep
you
soul
want to be
of the land
someone
center.
else.
Oof.
You got to, yeah. I mean, it's awesome. She does a fantastic job pushing the narrative. Where's she at now? Where's
She's a
Furry Fish
razor.
now?
She's a razor in Singapore.
Razor in Singapore.
I think.
You think?
According to her
believe.
Twitter bio.
We
did some stalking.
checked.
Yeah, her Twitter bio, by the way, is hilarious. I happened to look it up. I like fresh meat, deep conversations, and making people feel uncomfortable. But if you're overly enthusiastic about cats,
Oh boy.
you scare me. Opinions are my own, though.
Yeah, Tammy and me couldn't be friends. I have 3 cats and I love them all.
Keep on keeping on there, Tammy.
Way too much. But she's amazing. What she did just in that line, what she did for this movie, is really pushes it over the edge.
Yeah. I think what also helps really push it, and one of my favorite narrators for this movie was Mr. Jeremy Lin. This is the first time that he gets to really be on camera talking about Dota, how he loves Dota. This is in the heat of Jeremy Lin, there is the man himself, in like Linsanity. So everybody already knew who he was, and now here he is saying, and I quote, Dota is a way of life.
Right. And you guys may know Jeremy Lin from the Summit. Probably that's where you know him from.
Yeah. A lot of people did. They're like, what's sports ball?
He did a legendary cast there. But the guy, I think this is the best use besides the Summit of Jeremy Lin in Dota.
You don't think it's owning a team? VGJ?
No, I mean that's something he's done.
They
I mean,
make TI.
I mean the way people have used him for content. You know, I mean you've interviewed him.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I interviewed him at TI 5.
Yeah. How was that?
I mean, I didn't really ask him anything crazy. I didn't be like, how you feel about religion or something like that.
Okay, that's well.
I'm sure he gets asked a lot. What's your favorite hero? What's your MMR?
Jeremy Lin was so big that the Kardashians were tweeting about him during Linsanity.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
And here he is, like hot.
Yeah, and he fucking loves, dude. He
Dota.
plays. He's 4K. He plays with.
He's 4K. He's better than 95% of the population.
Our filmer little Haley, plays with Jeremy, and
Haley's good. He's 6K.
Yeah, Haley's a 6K player, but he's also one of our filmers. That's how you know, guys. BTS is serious. Our filmers are 6K.
What's your MMR?
I'm 3K.
I'm on Jeremy Lin's level.
That's why I don't get to touch a camera anymore. I don't know. Yeah, it was great. I think this is the best time. I think it's Jeremy Lin now is overused in the scene in how they
his usage rate is
him.
too high.
No, it's just like basketball, video games. Isn't this cool? Like in this, he talks about the struggle of the player. He's got a great line where he talks about these guys living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
You know, it's like some Rocky Balboa shit. Again, they also mentioned that.
Last places in these events, even at that TI, they're making nothing.
Well, that was bullshit. That was dumb.
I mean, finally, you know, it's been changed up, and he says himself that's not how people should be playing. That's not how they should be dedicating themselves to what they love to do.
Yeah.
And get really nothing at all back from it. Things are different now, but yeah, these players are putting that much more into the game because they know they'll be walking back with nothing to their parents, being like, I just did all that for nothing.
For nothing.
It's rough.
Even now, it's still weighted a little bit heavy, but then it was ridiculous.
So we get to move in now a couple of these signature characters. Now, the players that this movie's really all about. Let's start with Mr. America himself. We got Fear. They call him straight up Old Hog. Right in the movie, he's a ripe 24 years old.
Old Hog?
Old Hog. They call him Old Hog.
He does look kind of old, though.
24. Actually, one of my favorite pictures here, production, that they catch of him when he's younger is... it reminds me of myself. I love the outfit.
Oh,
look at that! Look at that
too.
happy boy. I don't think I've seen Fear that happy since then. Not saying he's not a happy guy, but here it's just like I love fucking gaming.
I love games.
I love this. This
Do
is
you think his mom was telling the truth?
Oh, the way he's holding that game, he's like,
No.
I wanted this.
She said when he was 2.5 years old, he said, "I want to play video games professionally." Is that true? That's not true, is it?
I mean, that's probably true, but you know, like the whole thing about sure they like argued about kicking him out of the house and all that kind of stuff. It's all like I would say it's probably a somewhat of a neutered version of like what.
Neutered in what way? What do you mean?
Just like, you know, most of the time when you interview the parents, I would say the HY parent aunt kind of like honesty there is like what normally happens.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
it's very rare to have a mom like Fear's mom.
Well, you got to remember
who got it.
You know,
well, Artur's mom is like that. They support him amazingly.
He won his first tournament.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty easy when you bring home the check the first time you go out.
That's true. That's true.
Like, he's coming back with like 40, 50K like the first time. It's like...
Yeah, MLG Columbus, baby.
Pretty fat, yeah.
But the other thing that I think was going against someone like Fear and that they were talking about is he was getting a bit older. And I mean... For like all the other gamers. All the other gamers they're probably like 18, 17, 19 about.
Yep.
And Fear's in a position where it's like, dude, you need to get possibly a real job. You gotta
rent
like
a car.
Do some stuff.
Figure your shit out, dude.
And he's like, no, I want a game. I want to play with my Euro pro gamers in these late hours, making the dog bark, making my mom pissed, and kicking me out of the house. That's what Fear's doing, but he's just got to play, and eventually does get kicked out of the house. Yeah, Fear Darkness. Shout out to Dota 1 there. But
I'm glad they didn't use that one.
No.
Fear's just a great
Fear's
name.
a better name than Fear Darkness.
That's Fear is so legit.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
let's shelf Fear for now.
I just want to say how cool their team name is. Online Kingdom. That's the coolest name for a team of all time.
OK.Nirvana int.
Yeah, I know the full name, but Online Kingdom with the Euro EU flag, and that is the most legit worldwide team. Like
a little bit of everything.
Everybody you got Theban, you got Fear, you got Pycat.
Everyone on that team's now still in the scene.
Universe was coaching that team. I mean, they were all over the map.
Lacoste.
Was it Come With Me? Was Come With Me?
Come With Me was on that team.
Come With Me was on the team. Lacoste. The great Lacoste.
The great Lacoste, also a strong narrator in this movie.
He's got a great line of after they lose that's very, you can tell he feels
He's got that voice too.
I don't even say.
Yeah. He's like, sometimes the players just get emotional.
Yeah.
Some shit like that.
He talks about how after you lose, you feel like you want to cry or something.
He's like, he just really
want to cry.
He's like,
that was some shit. Yeah, that was pretty good.
You want to cry.
Something like that.
You lose and you just want to cry.
There you go.
HY though. Let's step away from Fear. HY another
the
strong
love
character
story.
in this one. The love story.
This
Mr.
love
Romeo.
story.
The guy looks like a freaking model. First off, he looks like a Seymour model.
He is pretty.
Parents though are super hard on him. Gaming will be the death of you.
Very.
He was an
intense.
A student.
A-star student.
Pull you right down. It's like, oh, hits me right here.
His aunt is like just punching him.
She
just
was like
laying
laughing
into
at him. She's like, gamer, millionaire.
Yeah.
Not you.
Yeah. HY, multi-millionaire. Never.
Well,
wow.
Didn't he switch the league? He switched the league for a while, right?
After Dota, he switched the league.
I think
his aunt probably made him do it.
She probably was like, that's what the money is.
Casting her as a villain right now.
Yeah.
She's probably like, well, you should try for the LCS. I heard that's more legitimate.
He went for LCS. If we want to talk about his career, then he left that. And he had White Fries. They made a run last year, 2016, pretty good. Southeast Asia. They knocked out Mushi's team.
They didn't make it though.
They did not make it.
No. And this is, I mean, let's be honest, guys. Of HY's Dota career, this is the peak.
This is it.
Third place, TI. Made a cool 150K.
I would love to
Split
see the
5
guy
ways,
come
so
back.
30K.
Yeah.
30K.
I'd love to see him come back. I'd love to see him make a new peak. But right now, this is the biggest we know of HY.
He'd be almost a millionaire if he played just a few years later, right?
Yeah, if he got third, yeah.
If he got third and then a couple other tournaments, that's like a lot of money. So.
What about his motivation for this tournament as well? He's fighting a lot of it for this.
He skipped his finals.
This girl, no, he's got this ex-girlfriend of what, 2 years?
Yeah, I didn't think
together,
about that.
They were together 3 years, and broke up for 2 years, and here he is about to go into the biggest tournament ever, and he's still like, I just hope when it's over, I can call her.
Dude, yeah, so like 16, 17, 18.
Finals and then
yeah.
But the school is not like a driver for him. At least the way they're framing this movie, the driver is his ex-girlfriend, which is like to me the weakest. He just comes off. I mean, he comes off looking pretty lame.
I mean, maybe he does have the same motives because we already have Fear.
Hold
who's
on,
like,
hold on. You don't
I'm
know
doing
who
this
this
to
girl
prove.
is, okay?
I understand that. I know. First off, you know that I'm much more of a romantic than most people.
But a Korean pop star.
Okay.
It's
She's
not.
very cute. They look like they have a lot of fun.
Wait, we get to see her in it?
She's
Yeah,
like,
what?
yeah, there's like picture. When he talks about it, he like shows like a
she's
brief
not in the
picture of her.
ending.
Yeah, she is. She's in the movie.
What?
She's in the beginning and the end.
Someone here didn't watch the movies.
I don't
We're getting
remember.
at here.
Oh my god.
She is shown in the
She
movie.
is. They kiss.
It's a cute little thing.
Oh, right at
He's
the
like
end.
tonguing her. He's like, ugh, and she's like, stop! This is fucking terrible. I'm on camera and they're laughing.
I thought that was like a recreation of it.
You know, I mean, I'm sure it was. They're like sitting on the balcony and then
Yeah,
they're
I
making
mean,
out.
I thought it's not like they followed him around during his X times.
It is a little crazy. Is it not
It's
a
a
little crazy
recreation.
though to be like
It's a recreation.
thinking about an ex-girlfriend from 2 years ago and every single thing you're doing is trying to prove to them?
Didn't Arteezy make his ID Allison?
I mean, every player has done some shit like that. Who else? Who are the other players that put
Awkward.
I mean, Moon Meander. He puts his girlfriend.
What?
Yeah.
Moon, me, and her.
Yeah.
Oh, me and her. I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah, you got it.
1437.
Hey, we're not trying to
Steven?
say here players don't get
1437.
feelings for
1437
girls.
is I
love
you forever.
Yeah, I mean, I
yeah.
know these players can be romantic. I know they can be
Is
their
that
own
romantic?
Romeos. They can be a romantic. That's fine. It's just, this is a huge event at the time. There's so much more pressure. We're already looking at Fear, who's like, I'm doing it just to show that this means something. And
Yeah.
HY's like, I'm doing this so I can make a phone call to a girl who broke
Married
up with me 2
Fear, right?
years ago.
Isn't Fear
but
married now?
Now he's married, yeah.
Did they
Fear
just got
settled
married?
down.
They just got
He
married.
said
know. I mean,
wife
he's engaged.
on
He said wife,
Instagram
right?
recently, so we
Oh.
saw that. We saw that.
I know that they were engaged. In his little, he made a little EG piece, where, excuse me. So we're not like putting it out there. It was him and his then girlfriend were engaged, and they said the engagement in that video. They were walking. It was like a day with Fear, I think is what it was called. I don't know. I don't know if we want to get.
Well,
into
he's
that.
about to be a pro gamer, so I hope she's okay with some distance. No, unless they're traveling together.
She plays Dota.
Let's step away from Fear, step away from HYHY. Our other lovable main
Neil.
character, Mr. Dendi.
The god
himself.
himself.
The goof, the goober, the OG, all right? A dancer, a performer, like myself.
Oh!
You can see here we have Dendi
Wow.
repping things up. He's
God,
got
those
the-
moves are good.
He's got the shirt. He's lifting up girls.
He
throwing
always
them all
does this.
around.
When he goes on stage, you'll see him do this little fucking move on. He still dances.
He does
and
a little
shit.
bit of everything.
Yeah,
here.
he's great.
Can't
So-
dance his way to beating a robot, though.
Oh, come on. OpenAI, Elon Musk. What are you doing? Embarrassed. You know how many people sent me that article?
What?
How many people I know sent me the Elon Musk designs AI that beats pro Dota player?
I got a lot of our people sending me our links to when Liquid won TI. Like, congrats, and I'm like, I don't work for the team anymore. Thank you,
But that's cool.
thanks, dude. I left right in time.
No, yeah.
Like 2 years before. It was like 3 years ago.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
But you're still, I mean, TL.
I still know those guys. Yeah,
The forums, yeah.
the owners at least.
Okay, we're talking about Dendi, the dancer.
Dendi the dancer, the performer,
He's
artistic,
the
piano player.
original esports superstar, at least for Westerners. And maybe that's just my personal experience. I mean, you have people like Hydra or like some of these other StarCraft
Dota,
guys
for sure.
But
Dota's like he's the
but he's the
big
guy
one.
who gets to the next level. And I always like to think of the Steel Series ad, which we talked about. They showed at the end of this movie as being the most iconic
You
Dendi
mean the
picture.
article where he's holding the he's just staring.
Yeah, but those photos are
Yeah.
like that's when it was like Dendi.
And he was playing the most popular hero.
Yep.
He's the best at that hero. And
Super
now that
skill-based.
hero's actually even good and kind of in competitive the last like a patch ago or two. He doesn't even play. He didn't even play. They didn't even play him. He was mid.
Yeah.
Can we have him roam as
Let's get him
Pudge?
out there.
Can we get? Come on.
Also interesting. He is such a good guy, and in this movie they really show you how much his family loves him, how much he cares about them,
and how much is going on. I mean, we obviously know the heavy-weighted story that's there for Dendi in this, and we'll go into it a bit. But you already know that him growing up in his house, it's a struggle. His family was in a bit of a financial struggle. They were lucky to be able to even get that computer through their grandma, and then once they got the computer, Dendi couldn't be freaking pulled off the thing.
It's like the perfect storm. The piano.
Yeah.
You know, he's got those hands, those magic hands.
What were your computer habits like? Did your family did you get a computer and then
when I was
banned
a kid?
from it? Yeah, like were you on it too much? Like,
so first my dad brought home an old computer from his office and let us play with it. And then eventually what we would do is we go to like rummage sales and garage sales, and we get pieces of different electronic computers, and then we would just me and my brothers all would build our own computers from them. But we never had the internet. So we had no internet. So I just learned about like the electronics and like Windows folder structure. Like it's just digging around. And then I just
Did you play the
Paint.
like Minesweeper and stuff a lot?
Played a lot of Minesweeper. My dad had a cartridge for, or not a cartridge, like a floppy disk thing for Prince of Persia, the old one.
Oh, okay.
That was like my first PC game I played, was Prince of Persia. But not including like built-in ones like the fucking little cannon shooter or like Minesweeper or Pinball. Pinball not available now, but Pinball was a good one.
remember when I got my own PC? It was a Walmart PC. Shout out to Grant. And
Grant's coming up on 10 years at Walmart.
He said he's gonna get like the silver pin or something
You
like
get 10,
that.
You get
That's
10%.
a big deal.
You get 10% off for the rest of your life at Walmart if you work there 10 years. Yeah.
That is not true.
Yeah.
Is that true?
That's why he's staying until that. Because he can afford leaving now, I think.
Oh man.
It's
He's
like
got
a
to get that
discount
10
for
years.
life.
I mean, that's pretty legit.
10% for life. For life. For life.
You know that man be going to Walmart a lot.
For life.
For life.
For life.
I got this
right,
Walmart
so it was a
machine.
gateway? Was it a gateway?
I don't know what it was. It was just some compact or whatever, but I abused that poor machine way too much. I mean, Diablo 2, you know, like my boy Fear here, you know, my mom would just, I'd pretend to be asleep just so I could, you know, wake back up again and play it some
So yeah,
more.
you're talking about a little bit older. So when I started playing when those kind of games coming out, it was like first Wolfenstein, then Mech Assault 2.
Played StarCraft 1. I played Warcraft 1.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
Warcraft 1.
Yeah, so that StarCraft. I played, but I only played the campaign. I didn't play multiplayer.
Yeah, because you know.
I know.
You're casual.
I'm a casual.
But did you know anything about, let's say, did you do any sort of competitive gaming at all on
the most
PC?
competitive game I played was Unreal Tournament or 1.6.
Okay.
Like 1.6 was my first real foray into competitive games. Playing at the LAN center. Because, again, I didn't have internet, so I moved into just hanging out at the LAN center all day. And I could talk about my favorite LAN center forever, but it's the greatest place in the world, ENC. We could smoke and drink inside when we were like 15 years old.
That sounds awful.
It was fucking amazing. Are you kidding?
I mean, that sounds like a 15-year-old.
Smoky indoors and shit.
It was the best. I'm 15 years old. I could bring a 6-pack and a pack of cigarettes, and she would like clean my ashtray, you know. And you're just sitting there. It was kids were playing Warcraft 3, poker, and 1.6. That was.
It
what
sounds
I played.
awful, but amazing if you're 15. Sounds like the dream, to be honest.
Oh, I would. And it was open. It only closed for 1 hour, from 5 to 6 a.m. It closed.
What?
Yeah, because it was like
Everyone
some
just
law.
stepped outside. Just,
it was like some law that you couldn't have like a public thing, whatever, for 24 hours. So we would just go. No, we would walk down to the IHOP. There was an IHOP.
and
like
you eat, then you go back.
and you didn't come back. Yeah.
Oh Jesus,
Dude, we were monsters. It was.
Were you
terrible.
banned from the computer at all, Ken?
Oh,
Or did
yeah.
you play too much? Your mom tried to hide the power cable or anything like that?
My first foray into competitive hooked me. I was playing Brood War. I got dumpstered, obviously, and I was just playing online. I had one of those fucking corny nicknames.
What was it?
I was like Black Knight or something
Black
dumb.
Knight 69.
And now I do it ironically. I'm Goku Lion Master, ironically online with the alternating caps and with the tildes and stuff at the end.
I mean, of
But
course.
back then, I used to wake up in the middle of the night and go play when my parents were sleeping, and it was like an arms race to catch me doing this.
Oh God.
I would lock my door from the outside using like a wrench, so they would go to my door and it'd be locked. It'd be like, "Oh, he's inside."
He must
No,
be.
I was not. I was downstairs playing StarCraft.
Oh, was your computer in like the basement or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then I'd hide in the basement.
That's what we had to do at my friend's house.
If I heard him upstairs, I'd be like, "Shut the."
So So here we are, like ducking, dodging, trying to hide from our parents, trying to play some games, you know. Meanwhile, you go overseas, China, Korea, got gamer houses, chefs.
But they hate it though.
uniforms.
No, the parents still don't like it. It's like not. It's more. It might be more accepted.
But I mean, like
here,
the thing is like, you know, just they embrace more just competitive gaming. It's an actual thing over there.
Yeah,
it is though. Look, I
absolutely.
It is, but you know,
look how fly these kids are. We have a video clip. I would love to show this.
It's like
it's
trying to start a band
time.
here. It's like going to your parents and be like, I want to be in a band.
Yeah. Okay, that's
and your
a fun
parents
way
would be
of
like,
putting
that is not a good career choice. Don't do it. You're not going to be good enough. That's what people are going to say. Like if you went to your parents, and maybe this actually might actually make sense for you because a lot of people are like, I want to be a famous actor, right? When I grow up, and your parents are going to react. Certain parents are going to react in a way.
But at least there's actors.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
Like here, there's at least.
But still, dude, still, I like this.
You know, there's at least orgs out there. These kids could at least try to.
But
be
even
a part
getting
of it,
involved in that is fucking hard, and
It is.
the money is not going to be great.
But look how awesome it is. I would love, like, let's play this promo. Like, this is what you could be a part of at the time. You didn't see this on the West.
No. Oh God, yeah.
Over in Asia, they take gaming so much more seriously. Just to give you an example, the Korean football team were playing in the World Cup. To motivate the Korean football team to play better, they brought in StarCraft Brood War professional gamers into their locker room before they went out so that they got to meet what were their heroes.
In China, Dota
All right.
is to the people
So, you know, they're
that
setting it up that, like, the China... Like, in China, taking gaming very serious. These guys come to play. They are trained for 24/7. You're shaking your head over here, Ken.
I don't believe that story.
Ken doesn't
that's not
believe
that's
the
not a
story.
legit story. I cannot believe that's a story to be true.
It's pretty ridiculous. Is there any?
Are you calling out James to?
No, I'm sure James believes it to be true, and someone probably told him. But there's no way that the Korean soccer is fucking huge in Korea.
Yes, the Korean soccer
There's
team's
no
not
way.
bad, dude.
The Korean soccer team is actually really good. There's no way they brought in these guys are older than them. It's like not it. Just well, we can move past it. I mean,
I think it's a fun
it's
thing.
An exaggeration.
It's
It's
I
huge,
just like even that,
obviously,
like,
but
I get your point where it's like, yeah, even if it's still ambitious to be able to make a living as a competitive gamer, they at least have people doing it. There's orgs doing it. There's gamers house happening. That, you didn't see anything like that in the West.
Back
They're
then,
just like competitive
everybody
gaming.
was obsessed with the Eastern style. They thought that was the way to do it. You get everybody in a house. You never fucking leave.
it is okay. It's glorified from the West because we don't have it.
Yeah.
But it is not as nice as it is now back then.
No.
Maybe it's a little nicer now, maybe a little more professional.
It's like six people in bunk beds.
Yeah, it's bunk beds. It's 6 people to a room. You're sharing 2 bathrooms with like 14 guys. Yeah, someone's cooking for you, but it's rice and chicken, like whatever every day.
Yeah.
You're not getting a lot of salary. Most people don't make any money. You're grinding 10, 12 hours a day. You're hurting your hands, whatever. A lot of people are just there to delay for military service. It's not very glamorous at all. Obviously, it is glamorous for the people in that intro effort and Flash coming on a fucking plane when you're playing in the finals.
And for any like 13, 14-year-old who hears about it.
But it's, you know, it's kind of a pipe dream.
It's also died.
It adds to why they are also. I mean, that might not sound like glorious, extravagant, but they still have the opportunity to play the game on those ridiculous hours. So they're going to show up to these competitions and they're going to be the best.
For a 15 to 16-year-old kid, that sounds like the dream. You're just playing all the time. People are taking care of your food. The people paying you.
That was like how you thought it should all be done. And what's funny is that now it's backwards. Now the Eastern teams are like, oh, well, we like doing it like the Western people like to do. So we have our own houses and we come together for boot camps.
Yep.
That is like the new way.
You want to kill each other.
It's a little bit of everything. And then you have teams like Complexity who will still do. They'll try to get their team together into a house as much as they can.
I feel like Old Gods were the first people that really started publicly talking about doing that in China around that period pre-DAC.
Big God?
What did I say? Old Gods? Big Gods, yeah. Big Gods.
Big Gods.
Big God.
They talked about how that was how they were approaching it. I remember that's the first time I heard about it. And now that's just kind of what they all do.
And they're going to win next year, China, so.
Yeah.
Excited to see which Western
They're a big threat. They're always a big threat. But they were like, back then, like, and they talk about the movie, they're talking about how, like, in those Dota 1 tournaments and stuff like, yeah, it's like these guys just can't be beat. They play the game fundamentally on a different level that we just cannot comprehend.
By the way,
it's ridiculous.
They made the Chinese team seem like kind of a villain in this.
Dude, they villainized them so hard. We
don't know any of them.
Dude, look at that. Look how
that's
bad
ridiculous. Dude, that's like from that like rollerblading space movie.
That is like
you know what I'm talking about?
No, that is the villains from what's it called? Dodgeball.
They have them up here wearing armor,
the
motorcycle
dodgeball
gear.
Like half Asian. Look at that.
Okay, I think that this movie is partially responsible for creating
it's definitely responsible.
The so TI3 to TI5, the East versus West blood was crazy. It was like so intense, and I blame this because it wasn't as bad. I feel like you looked up to the East very hard, and then this really made it like these guys are like when they walk in and they're wearing all black shiny puffy jackets and they're talking about the like Legend of Ehome, they really make them like the Icelandic team in Mighty Ducks. Like they're it's the same thing.
That's a fantastic comparison.
They're wearing black, they're all really, really good. They have the money, they have the sponsors, they have the house. It's like they did it. And then what's funny is Valve like super hard backpedals on this kind of East versus West thing and then makes it a point starting at TI4, right? At TI4 to be like, don't do that, guys. Don't chant for your countries. I remember that was a thing.
Yeah, there definitely was a sit-down meeting and points that Valve were making, like, let's not make this about, Europe versus China or anything like that.
Yeah,
we don't want those kind of narratives to be happening.
Which they started.
But it's just natural. Like, what goes hand in hand with, like, the prestige of these teams is also the pressure that's behind them to perform that well, and especially against foreign teams, too. It's like,
there's a lot of nationalism, though.
Automatically, inherent.
The Chinese fans especially.
Yeah, of course.
And if you look at how many of the Chinese fans come out now to TI, it's crazy. That's the craziest cheering section.
They really thought it was going to happen this year.
Yeah.
Okay, when it was down to like 3 or 4 teams on Liquid, they were like, "Oh, we got this.
We got this, dude."
But everyone it was just like, "Uh-oh."
Now, imagine taking that. What even back then was even more intense of that kind of almost rivalry or competitiveness. Now, let's look at the TI1 setup. How they had the players lay out. They have a mini video clip here.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a setup that we have not seen again since, but was just
ridiculous.
Very well.
I love it.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I fucking love it.
You can hear the other team.
You can see them. They get up and yell at each other.
Well, Dendi did that
Let's
at
check it out.
TI3 anyway.
I was going to say, a lot of people did that.
Just go ahead. First, pause. Can you pause right there? Shout outs to this man.
My man Moose right there.
Moose?
Okay,
That's
if you guys
Moose.
don't know Moose, you probably do and you just don't realize it. So here, he's from Germany. And
Why
he
does he
was
look older here than he does now?
Dude, he looks the same age. It's crazy.
He is like Brad Pitt, Keanu Reeves jeans right there, dude.
Yeah,
he looks
some
just
Matt
like
Damon
that.
shit. He doesn't age. He's beautiful. He looks amazing all the time. So Moose, if you guys don't know him, is basically responsible for all of the player profiles except for the ones that like Valve and I have done. He shot the Miracle, the amazing camel one with the desert shots. It looked like another planet.
Looks like Mars.
The guy is a god.
home.
Before that, I first met Moose right after TI3 at Summit when he was filming for Navi at the time.
He's a tournament organizer right here.
Yeah, and here's the tournament organizer. So now he's got his own company, whatever. Moose is a god. I'd love to have him on the show. I'd love to talk about his documentary sometime.
Yeah.
We the community.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Anyways, you can play on the TI1 setup here.
Right here. Whole booth construction pretty much finished.
So 5 players per side. They can see each other through the glass. They can't hear each other. This booth is soundproofed.
Bullshit.
Plus, the whole
piece of
setup
glass,
here,
Toby.
if you look from above, it looks exactly like a Dota map. And this is the mid. This is where it all happens.
All right.
A few teams have already arrived this morning.
Beautiful. Okay, that's good. Hey, Eric, can they hear us when we're when they're watching the video? Is our audio live? No. So we can. Okay.
We were making fun of Toby saying that the glass was soundproof.
Yeah, that's so bullshit.
That shit's not soundproof.
Dude, even the booths now are not soundproof. Okay, at DIC, a little fun fact, DIC, the booths had windows on the side. So, and there was no air in it, so the entire time all those booths were open because they just weren't really soundproof.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I feel like there's just never good.
It's never good.
Never good, you know.
But I love those booths. So I remember.
At least there's not melting glue fumes in that booth. That was Shanghai booth.
Can we not talk about that? Shanghai.
Shanghai. We're not talking about Shanghai.
All right. We'll gloss over that one.
These booths I think are so cool because they promote that LAN feel where you're talking shit. The guy that you're playing is right over, and you're talking shit when you do it. They don't do this anymore. They don't even now. Players don't even want to see each other for the day before and the day after. They don't even know what their opponent looks like.
my God, they utilize this setup so much. You can watch clips of it throughout the movie when like they will intentionally do a good play, stand up, like let the other team know how they feel about it, and sit back down. And it got so bad. I found a screen cap later in the movie where they had to block out the window, and they just taped up a bunch of shirts because clearly at some point,
look at this.
Someone had a problem.
Have you
with
seen
it.
this?
No, I didn't notice that. That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Wait. Yeah. It's insane. Look at that. And I wonder, it's got to be the players, right?
And look at Lanham. He's like, I got to make sure though I clap, they could still see the clapping above. Like it's
look
so
at my boy
funny.
7-1. Can we talk about 7-1, the manager? He's a god. But that is ridiculous. And I wonder what would happen if you had this kind of setup now. I think players would be so fucking pissed. You think they're trash talk too? Nobody trash talks anymore. Nobody does. You have like, okay, you have people who get excited and yell shit during games. ROTK famously.
No Tail.
Big Daddy No Tail. Our list is getting very short. I can't even think of anybody else who's really that vocal.
We don't have audio from anyone else. Just like,
I mean, you can see them. We've seen these players play.
yeah, but I mean, I think Dota players, they don't want to get too excited because that's when you make mistakes. So they're trying not to. But I'm sure they say stuff when big plays happen. Like even Universe was like, let's fucking go or whatever when he got the Echo Slam.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'd love to see a tournament try that again. I think it would be amazing. I think it would be even more insane if there was just no booth and they were just looking right at each other.
Open air.
There was one Chinese tournament that did an open air one that was like a horseshoe.
Well, Star Ladder has been always just like up on the stage and the teams are just side by side facing out. There's no booth or anything.
But no, I would love
to
see him facing the center, boxing ring style.
Ooh.
In a little venue. That would be, I think, super sick. I don't know. I don't got much more to say about that.
As we move on, the tournament does end up panning out at this point. Dan, you were pretty vocal during the movie that you felt like this was the worst part of the movie, actually.
I think it's the worst part of the movie. So, a couple things. Number one, in any of my videos, you'll find there's only actually one that I include in-game footage. I hate in-game footage in this kind of video content because I think we want to learn about the people in the game, not like look at the game. I think this entire section is really, really boring, especially if you don't actually care about the game. It just like goes from match to match to match. There's really cool source filmmaker stuff. There's very interesting storylines if you're into it. For me though, as a documentary, it's a huge lull. It just like drops off. First 35 minutes, killer, amazing. Gets you into the world, gets you into these people, and then suddenly it just like dragged down.
Like Pugna in that clip. How do you think Pugna feels about being the kind of
was he flying away?
The punching bag of this movie? Night Stalker, the biggest moment is him slamming him into the ground.
He body slams him.
He's just like, fuck, man. Like, you have to pick that one? I dumpstered him the game before.
On that Fear Night Stalker, too.
Yeah.
That classic Fear Night Stalker. I don't know. I just hate this part, and I think it doesn't, if we look at it as just a documentary, it doesn't really come back until the end where we get super Bible thumpy, when we get back into Dendi's story.
Yeah. Who are you cheering for? If you had to pick between the three of them at the start of the movie when they introduced them all through, which guy were you like, oh man, I hope that guy wins?
Online Kingdom.
You wanted Fear?
I wanted Fear.
I wanted Hyhy to show up his aunt. I was just like, oh man, I know he doesn't win because I know
not get
Navi
the girl.
wins.
It was just
I was just
put
like,
his aunt in his
I was like,
in her place.
if he won the $1 million, it could be like his aunt would feel so shitty for saying all that stuff.
Or she'd just celebrate him or something, and he'd get some vindication.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate... See, why I don't want to cheer for him, because it's like... He's just, like, doing it to get a girl, but in kind of a lame way, like...
I mean, Ken was talking about how there's other motives, like he...
Clean, dude.
What?
2 years later? That's a little clingy.
2 years later...
I mean, he gets the girl, so maybe it's not.
It's love at first sight, Dan.
Yeah, I know.
Wonder if they're still together.
I mean, I think it's fun, and I think that you have to have...
high school puppy love.
A love story, because it shows that these guys are human and desirable and have desires, right, outside of the game, which is really important. And... Again, something we rarely see now in esports is talking about your love life. It's very rare.
Until our Fangirls documentary video comes out.
Guys, if you want to hear some juicy news, BTS documentary titled Pro Hose.
Whoa.
I'm not. Okay, yeah. Coming out next year.
All about esports groupies.
Yeah.
Getting in on the
But
action.
you don't hear about that shit, right? And nobody talks about it. They don't talk about their girlfriends. They don't talk about any of the lifestyle stuff. It's not something that
girlfriends
really
are temporary.
Temporal, yeah.
In Dota, at least,
not for
those
HY.
players roster swap constantly, so
nothing is consistent with them.
Yeah,
I want to.
They're traveling all the time. It's not even their fault. It's like, how can you have a relationship? You're traveling like 10
It's
months
really,
out of the
really
year.
hard.
It's impossible.
It's really, really hard. You have to have a really understanding partner or somebody who.
It's like any athlete then, in that case, who travels around.
But most athletes' seasons are short, and they
Yeah,
have
they have
off
an off
seasons.
season.
We have a month off at TI to the first event. It's
Yeah,
usually a month.
and usually either you're really happy or really fucking sad.
It's usually pretty stressful because you're either going to get kicked
Yeah,
off
you're,
a team
you're
or you have
getting
to kick
roster
somebody from a
swaps.
team.
You're upset that you just lost TI or something like that.
Something new is about to happen in your life. You have no idea what's going on. That's scary.
Yeah.
That's one of the worst. I mean, they have not done a very good job of managing that from the kind of like overseeing Valve size. But I guess how much do they actually have to? How much can they really do? I don't know.
Were you cheering for Fear? Cheering for Dendi?
Dendi. Oh yeah. I mean, Dendi's amazing. You want?
I
Dendi
don't
to
know,
win.
like who I was cheering for. I mean, I knew the outcome, obviously. So.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I guess I naturally gravitated towards Dendi just because he was so happy-go-lucky given the situation he was in financially with his dad and everything like that. Being able to be just so peppy all the time, I think you just naturally will gravitate towards someone like Dendi.
Okay, the structure of the movie doesn't actually allow you to cheer for Dendi because they don't tell you any of this shit. So Dendi gets introduced.
Yeah.
We talk about Dendi. And then he really doesn't get seen until the final series. And then they drop all these bombs on us. They're like, ready to hear some really fucked up shit about Dendi's past? Let's go. Let's learn something that makes the character super dynamic. And I think a lot of that shit is why you love Dendi so much. In like outside of this movie and inside this movie, is you realize that this guy who's super happy, super amazing, super excited and funny and fun to watch, has overcome all this shit, all this stuff that's going on.
Do you think people that don't know the result and watch the movie, that they anticipated Dendi winning? Or do you think they think it's like Fear? Because I feel like the poster of the movie is Fear, right? Fear's like the face of it.
The screaming.
And maybe people want to naturally get behind the American, too. I don't know. It's an American-made film. They just figure that that's how it's going to pan out.
I think that by like Fear losing, you give the audience, if they don't know anything, there is a doubt in their mind that nobody can beat eHome. And nobody's going to do the whole thing. And that all these teams are going to lose to the Giant, and that's it.
I don't know if Na'Vi was even that much of an underdog, if at all, in that series. They were all considered quite good. I don't know.
How it ended up panning out for Na'Vi is, I mean, not much has changed in this front. It's Russian Dota. I mean, no one knew what the hell they were doing. It was Divide. It was going crazy. And, you know, according to them, and I believe it was Fear himself, this is a team playing to win all the lanes at 10 minutes and win the game at 15. So we complain a lot about Deathball now, but
that's crazy.
That's just how the games were going for a lot of them.
I feel like in those chaotic that's like moments where no one really knows what they're doing and have to rely on pure instinct, that the CIS region does quite well in those kind of games.
Absolutely. Because they're just going for a face rush.
They're like Bane. They're like molded in that environment. You know, it's like, you only studied the darkness.
But the crazy thing is, when they ended up meeting up with eHome there in the grand final, they run to a team who's suddenly super disciplined and super patient, and it was just throwing them off their game. And they ended up having a pretty bad start to that series.
They had a winner's
dropping
advantage,
the first game.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
We
were trying to figure out, we're like, is it a best of 3?
The one game winner's advantage. Doesn't happen now,
best
TI,
of 3?
right? Now TI was just a best of 5 at the end. No one even questions that, by the way. It's just
best of 5 or the best of 3? What do you mean?
The best of 5. There's no one game advantage for winners. Could literally just lose one best of 5 and then you're just out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't like the game advantage. I think that your advantage usually nowadays is that you don't have to play that day until you get into that game, because it's usually
you get to watch.
Yeah.
You also get to watch, the
usually
the
one or
lower
two
bracket
series
match.
on the finals day.
Well, if you discount TI 1 because they had a winner's advantage, doesn't the loser bracket team win more often, or at least the same? Because IG came from lower bracket to win TI 2.
Mm-hmm.
TI 3 was Alliance winner bracket. They won, but Na'Vi from loser bracket almost won. They were winning like. TI 4 was newbie, and I believe that was that winners or losers? I don't remember. Probably losers. I think
it was losers. They came terrible in group stages.
Because Vici made all the way to the finals.
I mean, OG made it all the way from lower bracket at Frankfurt. There's been lots of lower
TI
bracket.
TI 5 was
runbacks for
EG
sure.
lower bracket. TI 6 was Liquid lower bracket. All these are lower bracket wins.
Yeah.
A lot of these.
Manila Liquid came from the lower bracket and lost in the finals to OG.
A lot of these are TI wins are lower bracket wins. So
I mean, you can't
maybe
like
that does
reset
matter.
like fighting games can do, where it's sets are just a lot shorter.
I think
and you can just.
Don't you think it's like naturally
Okay, here it
Here's
comes.
my idea. You want my
Oh,
idea
shit.
for this?
Here it comes.
Okay.
I'm out.
If the loser bracket team wins the best of 5, then it's 1 game for the entire thing.
If the loser bracket team wins best of 5, then it's 1 game for the entire thing.
Yeah, it's a best of 1, and the winner just wins.
Oh my god!
Because then you get the
You have
drama,
riots.
and you also have the winner bracket team getting a second chance.
So that means the lower bracket team has to win 4 games,
Yeah.
while the upper bracket team would only have to win the 3.
Correct.
I don't know, man. I think that
would be so fun, though.
I mean,
I love single
tough 'cause
elimination.
games are so long.
One
it's
game.
hard
I
to
love
one
single
game
elimination.
like basketball.
People hate
One
that shit.
game.
I think it's so intense, and like people
Or
are
football,
like,
rather,
because
than
the
NFL.
problem with like all this double elimination and lower bracket stuff is like, yeah, man. Eventually, the better team is gonna win, which is the fair way. But you don't. It's
Is
not
it
as
really that
exciting.
fair? I mean, like Liquid was very close to losing to Secret. They're very close to losing to LGD, and we all.
That lower bracket was hell. TI7 lower bracket was insane.
Yeah.
That was so scary. It was like the upper bracket didn't look that bad after the second round. You know, I was like,
Did you think that Fear was going to win TI after watching this? When this is over? Like when you saw it at TI3, were you like, oh man, Fear, he's going to be a TI winner one day?
No.
I
No.
thought there was no I thought
No.
it was just over.
I mean, he even gives that impression on himself at the end, just like, I'm going to reevaluate what it is I'm doing with computer gaming. I mean, everyone has those moments after a huge event, of course, but yeah, you start to think more about, is it true that old age in gaming is not going to work out for
Or
this
North
guy?
America.
Yeah, North America doesn't have
Man,
that
he
kind of
was so-
support.
EG was
pre
just
Peter Pan Dam. PPPD.
EG was not very good.
Yeah, there was really no like American team.
Because
to
he was
step up.
on that. It was him and Fogged and MSS and
Yeah.
was it that was the team?
That
Demon.
was the team.
I think,
Demon.
maybe.
Demon.
So
Was Malk on that too?
all apologies to that team, but they did.
Malk was on
awful.
that. At one point.
Maybe.
At one point he was on that. And Complexity was another North American team.
Bambo was on that
TI3.
team. Remember Bambo?
Oh my god.
I remember they used to have this whiteboard, and they said it said heroes Bambo was allowed to play, and it was like Furion, and then they had like another hero that they crossed off, so it was literally just
It was
Furion.
just Furion. Oh god. Yeah, but you were talking about what Fear said after they lost. I think that was very interesting. Because he talks about how commitment is what caused him to lose. That somebody on the team wasn't committed. Number one, I really wonder who he thought wasn't committed. Do you
Who's
guys
on
have
the
any?
team?
It was Come With Me.
Probably Come With Me.
Very possible. I mean,
Right?
he was like a
He's the only
like
one that isn't on
loudmouth.
our team right now.
Yeah.
This is pure speculation.
Absolutely.
Of course,
That's
of
fine,
course.
and it's fine
I
to
like
speculate.
Come With Me is a
It's
cool
Come With
guy.
Me, Lacoste.
Average.
Pycat, who was only on
Pycat.
the team for 3
weeks. He was a kiddo.
learned to Fear.
He was young. He looks the same age. Speaking of guys who look the same age, beautiful young man, very kind young man, but
Pycat,
has not
yeah.
aged. There's some kind of black magic going on in that dude.
Heavy computer use, probably.
Nice hair, pretty
Yeah.
skin.
Doesn't go outside.
Doesn't go outside much.
No
very
vitamin
delicate.
D. Yeah.
And that was, I feel like that at that time, that was a very common thing. Teams would break up, and their complaint would be, "Oh, they're not committed. They're not taking it seriously." There's always somebody who really wants to do it really hard, and I don't think you see that anymore because now it's so much more viable. Like
Everyone just grinds.
Everybody just grinds. It's no longer an excuse for a team breaking up, which I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, that happened all the time back then because it was so day to day. Like people had school, people had jobs, whatever. I don't know. I was really like, wow, that's very interesting. But then, yeah, he turns it around.
What
he ended up having an okay career.
What was your favorite part of it?
My favorite part of the movie?
Yeah.
I have my favorite part, actually.
Okay, what is
Can we
it?
show it? I have a.
You prepared it?
I prepared like what I feel like
ready.
is a shout out
Holy
to
shit,
a very
okay.
special
Yeah.
moment in this movie.
I think I know which one it is.
Let's
What are
see
you
if we
talking
can.
about? Let's see it.
Let's check it out right now.
Oh.
I was born in the Los Angeles.
Did there be
district
sound?
in
Okay.
Lancaster,
I don't think there's sound.
I lived
All
there
right.
with my dad
And
my mom.
I
Now I'm 2
mean,
years
That's
old.
okay. Hey, can you
My
go
dad's
back?
play it again, let's play
Can
it
you
again.
pause it on him taking a drink? And then Dakota, I want you to tell this great story that I didn't
mean,
know, Ken.
It's not much of a story.
I
It's
forgot
just
about
you
it.
watch this scene and something ain't right. Look at this water bottle. Just look at the water bottle. Huh?
Well, I was born
Pause
in
that.
the-
Wait a minute. Now,
Go back
do you
a-
mean to
whatever.
tell me that there's a chance that Fear may have been drinking something with alcohol in it, a beer perhaps, after this nice mountain
Start
walk,
off
and they
slow,
happened to
but
dub
you
in a
know.
water? That is not.
Okay.
What?
Do you know the story of this, Ken?
No. What?
Okay, tell him what's going
Well,
on.
I don't. The thing is that I tried to look it up on where I had heard it from, but when I rewatched the movie with you, it just totally stood out.
It was crazy.
They definitely CG'd out the bottle.
There was a beer bottle.
And he drinks
What?
beer. Later in the movie, he's sitting
How
on
do you
the
know
dock.
that? What?
Look at the way he grabs the water bottle.
It's a
There
CG water bottle.
Look at the way. Go back again and play it for me, Eric. You do not grab a water
Don't
bottle
click back.
like this.
Use your arrow keys. Use your arrow keys to go back 5 seconds. There you go.
There we go.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you why they do it. It's
I was
ridiculous.
born in the Los Angeles district.
Okay,
in
all right.
Marin County.
Pause that, Eric. Get this off screen. Get this away from me.
Why
I
do
can't
we
look
even
at this shit
have
anymore.
this scene?
Okay, so here's the deal. This is what happens, right? They shoot a scene of fear, and we're like, yeah, we're just gonna get some footage of you walking around. He's like, all right, I'm gonna bring my beer. And they're just walking around, and they're doing whatever, and he's drinking a beer. And then later, they're looking at the footage, and they have him lacing up shoes. They have him walking up a hill. He looks like he's going on a hike. He's exercising. Okay, you can't have a guy exercising because that's the whole like visual story of that is he's going on a hike in Oregon and then chugging a beer at the top of the hill. So we're like, yeah, all right, get this fucking bottle out of here. We're making a water bottle because it wasn't the beer. Because later
Can we
beer.
go back? Bring it back.
Again, later, he is seen on his front porch
Hold on,
drinking
relax.
beers. He drinks beers in the movie.
Let's just okay.
Look at that.
Do you think they CG the bottle that's at his feet to next to him? 'Cause
Whoa.
there's another
I didn't
one
even
right
notice
there.
that bottle there.
I didn't
Do you think
see that.
Do you think that's the one?
That's the bottle in his
That's
hand.
the water bottle. And
I mean,
then the
there's no
beer
doubting,
bottle?
right? That something's up, and I know I heard something somewhere. I couldn't find the documentation. It may have been in the Q&A, and I didn't hear the whole thing.
I
but
remember
I
it.
remember
Can you
someone
go
making
back
a
like
point
1 second?
that he was drinking a
No,
beer here.
I think that water bottle on the ground is so
Pause
yeah,
it
you
like
don't
right when
see-
he starts reaching. Pause it like now. Okay.
Now, he
okay.
starts
pause
going
it
for
1
the
second
net
later. Pause it
early.
1 second later. Again.
A little more. Right there.
You can use the
Again?
You can use the period and the comma.
What is that?
Yeah.
that's not how you grab a tiny. And the water bottle looks tiny now.
Go a millisecond forward.
Yeah,
More.
yeah.
More.
Period and
more,
comma is how you move the
more.
frame.
Okay, so right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at you can see the bottle. It's brown. In between his fingers.
Oh yeah, you can.
You can see like the refraction from the glass.
Anyway, we're not here to look to call out fear. or
We are
anything.
calling them out.
It's just,
By the way-
it looks so interesting.
Okay,
was
guys,
just
I think this could be a
hilarious to
segment.
me.
There's something that like people like when I talk to other film people, we say, "Are you watching a movie or are you pixel peeping?" And if you're pixel peeping, it's when you're doing shit like that and you're looking for mistakes and you are trying to find either bad VFX or like, oh, I saw a camera in a reflection or whatever, and it's called pixel peeping.
MovieMistakes.com, isn't
Yeah.
that like a website
That's,
where they
yeah,
love
that
doing
is
that
one.
shit?
But so
Yeah,
that is a
yeah.
pixel peep for sure. But that is definitely not what was there. And I think they took. I want to say the water bottle on the ground is real, and that's why they chose the one to
same one.
replace it.
Same one.
It's the same
It's
one.
just
That's like in
good
Jurassic
old
World,
fear. I'm gonna
where
go
they
out on a
throw,
hike with my beer.
What do they do?
In Jurassic World, Chris Pratt throws a rat to the Velociraptor, and if you pause it, the rat has the visual effects ID number
Yes.
tattooed to the side of the rat.
Yeah, they didn't actually fix.
It says
finish
like
the effects.
SX7 something whatever.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Those are really fun. That's a good subreddit, by the way. Movie details or movie mistakes. Those are fun.
Any favorite moments in this movie for you guys at all?
So this beer one is
I mean,
yours.
that's the best. That's the best
So
moment of the movie.
random,
How do
right?
you
Oh,
erase
man.
that?
I mean, there is the big moment at the end of the movie for Dendi, of
We
course,
have to
which
talk about that
always
one.
just hits you, man. It hits you right in the feels.
That's what I mean by at the end, like the Bible thumping comes out so hard when Dendi goes back fishing, and then obviously that everybody used to say back in the day was that's why he plays pudge, is because he's always trying to hook stuff, fishing with his dad, hooking fish, playing pudge. But what I really wonder is if Dendi was like, I'm gonna go fishing, I'm gonna do that, or they asked him.
They probably asked him.
Would you like to go fishing?
They probably planned it together.
I
What
feel
are you
like
gonna
they
do?
did.
You want to go fishing?
Hey,
I feel like they
would
did.
you want to
Yeah,
go
you want to know my
fishing?
favorite part? The monitor bit with fear, where he's like setting up the CRT in that new place.
Oh my
yeah.
With the desk and like putting the books underneath it. And
His
he's like,
friend.
this is, I can play the same on this as I can on. And I'm just thinking like, man, if players now thought like
Dude.
they need their exact setup, they need like a
Dude.
144
Even
hertz
then,
monitor.
is
They
it
need the
Flash?
chair in this exact way.
Listen,
Was it
guys.
Flash that used to measure out all his shit? He used to measure like the distance from his keyboard to the thing. Was that him? Who was that?
Yeah, it's Flash.
It was Flash.
He needed it to be the exact height.
Yeah, as his home setup.
Listen, Future Summit, we're going to do a throwback, and when they come in, it's going to be all like CRT
CRTs,
monitors.
holy
They
shit.
have to play on Walmart PCs like I had to play
Yeah,
on.
that was badass, dude. I remember seeing that and me thinking like, because at the time,
It's
I think I was specifically trying to buy a gaming mouse, and it was
they called
like,
him Rocky. The guy that was describing
his best friend was like, he's like the Rocky Balboa
because he's training with like a tire,
or like punching frozen meat.
Yeah.
Look at that setup, man.
Oh man, he has no space. He has no armrests. It's like, how do you even play like that?
And just as a narrative piece, this is another great thing where he gets his desk at the end. That's another.
And his
Fear's
computer
desk
is a
like
laptop. You can see it back there. It's a laptop that's wired in to the monitor.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Too.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have a full desktop gaming computer.
I just can't. So, how did he even survive? Like,
dude, he's got like no movement for his mouse. I mean,
he's
people,
doing that.
It's a good
late hours.
You ain't playing
Europe
Counter-Strike
hours.
on that setup.
You're simultaneously kind of laughing at him and also being like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah, I'm more just being like, "Holy shit, that's crazy. That's a piece of shit monitor. That's a piece of shit. Not even a desk. That's like some weird rusty table.
Are you surprised he has arm issues?
Because he's playing like
he's
this.
playing like
he's
this.
playing like this.
No armrest. Like, of course, he has arm
and then
issues.
when you're done with that, you're not going to just get a better setup and then break all those habits.
God, dude, you're just like, I'm just like thinking about
he's just
how
like
many
this the whole
hours he
time.
must have spent on that thing.
Like,
is that it? That's the root of all of his injuries. Oh my god.
It's a serious
But yeah,
tennis elbow.
I love that at the last frame of the movie, or not the last frame, but one of them where Fear finally got his desk. You know, like it's just such a fun little.
Now he's got a desk. He's got the girl. He has a TI championship.
He's got that car.
He had the retirement life, but not anymore, guys.
yeah,
Now
after
it's
watching
like,
Tom Brady. Sumail, I'm back.
I'm back.
I'm back.
I love that video.
Rumor
that
has
part
it
of the
that
videos.
did not go that way, and it was quite the opposite. It was like, Fear, please come back. Please be on this team.
Yeah,
But
I've heard that
that's
it's
just
much the
rumor
opposite.
The video
It's
was
more
so
like-
cheesy but hilarious at the same time.
I like the video.
Props
there
to
we go,
Fear.
there we go.
He's going to be playing
Got a new desk.
support.
Look at that
Aw, good
monitor.
for
It's
him.
not a CRT anymore.
He did,
Good
but he's
job.
still playing on a laptop. He's still playing on a fucking
Yeah, you're
laptop.
right. There is a laptop right there. They're like, sorry, we can't give you that much.
Well, I mean, he spent his own money. He got like they split like 25 grand.
Yeah.
Right.
Isn't that his license plate number? Are they allowed to even show that?
Where?
At the top
Oh,
right.
well, you assume that that's not a registered
Not our
one.
problem.
That's like, look, Andrew's got his up there, right?
Okay.
I'm pointing something off screen that you can't see. There's a license plate on the wall from Indiana of one of our head camera guys. Not one of our. It's the guy. It's Andrew Gatz.
Maybe we'll get him on some future
him on the show one
movie
time.
podcast. So
We
guys,
nerd-
that's
us
the
watching
back
shows
end
is
of,
ridiculous.
Yeah?
Yeah, me and Andrew's stupid. Okay,
That's
go
free
on.
to play, guys. So
Holy crap, we
you
got through the
know,
movie.
We got through the movie. How many Dan Dicks would you rate it?
Dan Dicks.
I don't know. What's our rating
how many?
system here?
I'm not
Are we
going to
doing
tell
a
you
rating system?
how many it's out of, but this has got 13 dicks.
13.
This has got lucky number 13 dicks associated with it. Lots of boner shots.
Can we get a scale? What's like Inception?
Inception. I fucking hate that movie. That's one dick.
Okay, well, what's a movie
What about like
you really
Shawshank Redemption?
No, I'm not going
Or
to give you a
Dunkirk.
scale. This is not Dunkirk. Is fucking.
How many dicks is Dunkirk?
See, we don't measure that Dunkirk in dick. That's in boners. Okay, these are different measurements.
Okay, well, how many?
How many dicks is a boner?
Guys, are we really getting into this conversation?
Do you want me to rate it?
This is our first
I don't-
rating
I
of a
don't-
movie ever, and this is something
Give
we might be doing
me a star
every-
rating out of 5.
Out of 5
or 10. Out of 10.
I think this is for documentaries. I'm gonna say
No,
it is
just give me like a rating overall, not documentaries. Just to you, the effect that had on
visual
you.
enjoyment
the
experience.
effect I had on me is a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. 100%. It changed the way I thought about making content. I was at the time working in the music industry, doing film and animation, all this shit, and I saw this, and I was filming TI for fun, right? I came out to TI, I was filming it for fun, I saw this, and I just said, holy shit. You could make more of these. You can do a lot more.
For me, it's a 7 out of 10. The reason why I don't have it higher is because I really wanted to see the Na'vi story in TI2. I felt that story was a lot more exciting, where they had the play. They were the only Western team against all those Chinese teams.
Yep.
Obviously, we wouldn't get the same humanizing kind of like 3 storyline thing that we had here, but I felt like if it included some of those clips or at least spanned all the way to there, I'm not blaming Valve at all for it. I'm just saying I had higher expectations because it was hyped so much. It was like a huge snowball of hype. So still a really good movie.
Yeah, man, it was great. It's it's a movie that it's hard because you don't want to be biased on one end because you just love the game so much. But if you're walking away from a movie and it feels like it's almost a life-changing experience, and you're just like, I gotta show this to everyone, like,
yeah,
it's up there on my Cox chart, that's for sure. I mean, I'm gonna probably say 8 out of 9 on my chart.
You rated out of 9.
Wait, how? Okay,
He's
by the way,
5, you're out of 10.
I
I'm
just
gonna
did
be out
4
of
out of 5. He did 7 out of 10. You did 8 out of 9.
That's
8
what
out
I'm
of
gonna
9.
do. 8
out of 9. Okay.
This is fucked up. Why? Because nothing's a perfect 10. I guess
Yeah, because I want to say 6 out of 9 for one of them. So
sick, dude.
8 out of 9 for me for free to play. So guys, this is the beginning of our adventure now. It's easy to move in.
Second movie.
You know, we gotta go another movie.
What are we doing
now.
next? What are we doing next? What
Do
are we doing next?
we nominate now?
Should we just say it? Should we
Yeah,
just
I know.
nominate
I
it?
know what we want to do. I know what I want to do.
I know what
do
I
you
wanna
want to do?
do.
What do you want to do?
We want to go down for adventure of The Wizard.
The Wizard, the first
Wizard.
esports movie ever.
I haven't seen this movie, so
1989.
Okay.
I'm a fresh freaking 4 or 5-year-old.
If you have never seen The Wizard, know this. It is the first time that I saw video games being pushed in a way that made me feel like it was more than just games. And it does have a sequence, which is literally, I would say, is the first esports, like, in a movie. So you haven't seen it. Ken hasn't seen it. It's fucking awesome.
I haven't seen it.
It spawned one of the best lines of all time. The power glove. It's so bad. Okay? It's an absolute treasure of a movie. Who's in it? Who's the star?
We got Fred Savage, of course,
Fred
of the
Savage.
Wonder
Fred Savage
Years.
is in it.
Okay.
Prime. Fred
Very
Savage.
young Fred Savage. Yeah.
Luke Edwards, Jenny Lewis, but we also have
Jenny Lewis, you'll know.
Christian Slater, right? No, not Christian Slater.
What?
What's his name?
Is it?
Full cast and crew. I'm trying to think of the big name. Yeah, Christian Slater.
Yeah, it's Christian Slater.
Christian Slater.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll watch it, and we'll see.
It's gonna be awesome. It's just like Dan. Like this is like I already loved video gaming. I was playing my Nintendo. I love playing Contra, Super Mario, all that stuff. And this was a video game movie
The
about kids
Nintendo-
playing video games. Like I had to be a part of this. I had to
Was
watch
it the launch of the Super Nintendo or the Nintendo that coincided with that?
I don't know if they launched
think
a
it's Super
very popular
Nintendo.
game at the back end of the movie.
Are we going to spoil it?
Nintendo-
I don't know if
All right,
it's
let's not
spoil.
fucking
Nintendo
spoil
was
shit
definitely-
Guys,
anymore.
if you have seen
Nintendo
The Wizard, if
put
you have
money
any
in that
attachments
movie.
to The Wizard, you got to be here for the next movie buff podcast because we're going to be talking about
The Wizard. And what about after that? What are we doing after that?
I think
Well, we
might
got a
look
couple
to go
things in the
for-
slot.
We want to go for new movies too. We're not looking to just do old time classics. We want to get some
Is there
fresh
anything
box
coming out
office
recently?
movies.
There's a couple. Okay, yeah, this is The
there it is.
Wizard.
That's The
Just
Wizard.
look at that. Give me a break. Look at
Wow.
those shades. That looks like you, Dakota.
Who's the
This
guy in
looks
the
like me.
in the center?
That's the. He's
Is that
the
Christian
Wizard.
Slater?
He's like the
He's
kid.
the
He's the
wizard.
pro. He doesn't even he doesn't need to talk. He
No.
just
Okay.
plays
All right.
Yeah.
and beats ass.
He's exact. He's like Fata. He just doesn't talk in anything.
He's like a savant probably or
just
something.
really-
I don't know. But
Doesn't do any media. He's just really good.
Does he win at the end?
we're gonna laugh about the
tell you.
terrible love story, the terrible just story.
Terrible?
We're gonna
Come
talk about the
on.
great video gaming. It's gonna be.
I don't want to get too much into it. So, but the
Okay.
next week we have a couple things we want to do. One of them is a movie that you probably won't see. It.
I don't want to watch it. I'm scared.
It
of
is
that
coming
movie.
out
Can we-
September 8th. I'd love to go in the theater and see that movie. I think it's really fun and crazy. Ken will not see it though. He's not a horror
I'm scared
guy.
of clowns, man. I don't
We
wanna
got
see that
Blade
shit.
Runner coming out in October.
You got to get another third person. Go see it with someone else.
Me and Dakota will just do it.
I think you need someone to sit here and do nothing.
We'll just get the clown. Put him here.
Oh,
Talk
maybe
with that.
maybe we get somebody to dress as a clown for the entire thing.
Maybe
it's Grant.
I don't want
Maybe Grant will come up with something.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know.
If you want me on the podcast, not having seen the movie, and I don't care if I get spoiled, I'll sit here.
All right. It's good to know that we'll have a butt in the seat
I'll be like,
regardless. But
Thanks, Ken.
Like, what happens to the clown?
Thanks, Ken. He's okay.
That's
I'm
it, guys.
sweating.
Let's wrap it up.
Let's
It's
go.
me. Dan will be back in action. We may have Ken hop in for some future action there. Be sure to check out all of our podcasts, of course, the BTS Podcast Network. You can catch us on our SoundCloud, on our YouTube, on our iTunes,
Stitcher,
on our
Google Play.
Stitcher, on our Google Play. We're all over the place right now.
YouTube.
And yeah, also
Twitch.
we have King's Cup, which is the new Dota 2 season. Going to be happening here in just 2 days.
Yeah.
Firing up on the 6th. Should
By
be
the time
awesome.
this comes out, it'll have started.
It may have already started, so if you love Dota 2,
Tune
if
in.
you love free to play, you could tune in and catch some live Dota 2
Who's going to be
Pro
in
action
King's
there.
Cup? Who you guys got here?
So as talent, we got myself, we got Grand, we got Lacoste, and we got none other than KBBQ Jack.
That is a
himself.
powerful
lineup. Awesome Dota. It's going to be an awesome time. I'm excited to talk about more movies in the future. For Ken, for Dan, and for myself, this is Movie Buff. We will see you next time for more movies and esports action.